So we are only 9 days away from what many celebrate as Christmas morning. That is definitely the case for most who live in the American Deep South that encompasses the states that line the Gulf of Mexico. But on this December 16th of 2019, more than 24 tornadoes touched down and all hell broke loose. Hi, I'm Chris May, host of This Day in Weather History, a podcast from the Weather Network in Canada. Malls were jammed. Kids were almost off school for 2 weeks, and little did anyone know in 2019, but this would be the last Christmas season like this for 1 or 2 years, thanks to a deadly invasive global pandemic. Nor did anyone consider that this close to the end of the year, there would be an early summer-style tornado outbreak like the one that happened this day in weather history. It was postulated that between the years 1999 and 2018, by far the fewest tornadoes on average occur during the month of December compared to the other 11 months on our calendar. Severe weather expert Dr. Greg Forbes calculated that on average, in this 10-year study, there are 34 tornadoes in December on average, and that is the least per month annually, with January and February next in line, but with 41 and 42 respectively. So for almost all of the December national average to take place in one event is unusual, if not flat out totally unfair. Most of the tornadoes were reported in Mississippi, with several striking in Louisiana and Alabama. The 3 fatalities, they happened in Louisiana and Alabama while injuring people in several states and damaging homes and churches. Early in the day, on December 16th, this day in weather history, the U.S. National Weather Service issued a tornado emergency. Not a watch or a warning. It is labeled an emergency. That is actually the highest criteria for a tornado warning. So it is used only when it is certain that really bad things are about to happen and people need to act now and with no delay. This went out for Rapids Parish in Louisiana. That included the town of Alexandria, where a large tornado was confirmed near the Alexandria International Airport. In the aftermath there, Alexandria police said there were no reports of injuries in the city, but several structures were damaged, and surveillance video showed a lot of debris and at least one overturned vehicle. In Mississippi, multiple houses were damaged or destroyed in Amite County, which is located on the southern border with Louisiana, and it was in this Gulf state area where people also lost their lives in this outbreak. In Louisiana, the storm killed 59-year-old Betty Payton. She was in her mobile home in Vernon Parish when it was destroyed in the tornado. Around her, several churches in Vernon Parish were also damaged. In Alabama, a husband and his wife were killed on a Lawrence County road near Town Creek. Their bodies were recovered just north of their home. A 7-year-old boy was found injured near the couple, and he was taken to hospital. At least 3 other people were also found with injuries in the same area. And now it's that part of the podcast where we ask, so what happened? There was a line of severe storms that were moving east before the Christmas holiday. We've seen this collision a million times. You take a strong cold front, bringing the cold and the snow from the Arctic Canadian North. Then it drapes south into the Four Corners and grabs its ultimate momentum after traversing the Rockies. This system was driving heavy snow across portions of the Midwest, with more than 6 inches, about 15 centimeters of snow in areas from Kansas to Indiana. The snow would continue across the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast through the rest of the 16th and into the 17th. But in that warm sector, the area between the legs of the advancing warm front, the tailing cold front, well, that is where this system will draw on the much milder and moisture-laden air mass from the Gulf of Mexico. This collision of temperature at many layers of atmosphere is like an instant mix of dynamite and a lit match. Atmospheric stability crumbles and everything went haywire. Now, I'm not going to bore you with any further tutorial on the mechanics of atmospheric science where it pertains to the clash of air masses over the southern states in the cold weather months, but I will say this. It resulted in almost the entire national average for tornadoes in the month of December in one outbreak. This day in weather history. Okay, someone has got to stop me when I start nerding out on Earth and atmospheric science and analysis. Nerds! 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 Right. Tomorrow is December 17th. And remember that tomorrow's episode also features a podcast video short. You can watch this quick 2-minute summary on the Weather Network in Canada on television or online anytime at theweathernetwork.com/weather history. Hey, they're shot right here in my podcast recording studio and include photos and video from that day's story and right from that day in weather history. And tomorrow, we take flight, but with the guys who started what we have come to know today as the modern era of aeronautics. We're with the Wright brothers out at Kitty Hawk on this day in weather history with me, your host, Chris May.